Hello and welcome to the channel, guys, and to the unboxing of Muse's Simulation Theory vinyl, the regular edition. So let's get these nylon strings off. And let's see, open it this way. Nope, okay, let's turn it around. And voila! Muse Simulation Theory, their 8th studio album. And let's see if we can find a good place to slice open the plastic. I'm trying to be very careful here because there's not much room to play with. Okay, let's see, this wasn't quite sliced open properly. There we go. Alright, so before we take off the plastic, let's take a look at this lovely sticker here. Featuring the hit single Something Human, Pressure and Get Up and Fight. It doesn't mention Dark Side, which is, I think, the best of the bunch for me, but... Alright, let's get the plastic off. Again, I love the sound of that plastic getting ripped off. And there we go. I'll save that sticker for later. So this is the back side of the record. And that's side A with Algorithm, The Dark Side, Pressure, Propaganda, Break It To Me, and Something Human. And side B has Thought Contagion, Get Up and Fight, Blockades, Dig Down, and The Void. And you can actually see the side A is actually called side Alpha, and side B, side Beta. On the spine it says Muse Simulation Theory vertically, which is not that easy to read, but interesting choice. Okay, so let's get the record out and have a look at it. So the inner sleeve, this is the inner sleeve with the lyrics to the songs. Again, not the easiest to read, but it's a nice design. Looks nice from afar. Nothing else in there. It's pretty simple. Just the record, inner sleeve, and the actual cover. And getting the record out of the inner sleeve. It's a paper, the sleeve, which is a shame, but anyway. So this is the record with side Alpha and side Beta, and it's a nice clean stylistic design for the label. Let's get this back in its sleeve for now. I'll be changing this to plastic sleeves later on. And there we go, back in the cover. And I have to say, I really love the cover for this. I've been a fan since they first revealed it. A lot of people have criticized it, ridiculed it, but I love it, and it has... I haven't seen all the videos, but I know it has impressions, images, sketches, drawings from the different videos they've made so far. Dig Down and Thought Contagion. And yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And this is the reason why I wanted this version and not the deluxe version, because I actually prefer the cover art for this regular vinyl version above the special edition or the collector's edition cover art. But there are videos. I'll put a link to another unboxing video of someone unboxing a collector's version, so you can check it out for yourself. On the back we have the creation of Adam with a robot hand and a werewolf hand instead of God and Adam. And yeah, so this is the unboxing, and let's have a listen to the record itself and a short track by track review of it. Side A, or side Alpha, starts off with Algorithm, a dark and moody track, and it really sets the tone for the 80s theme they're going for. You could almost call it Stranger Muse. This is the one that feels tonally inspired by the TV series Stranger Things, but with the unmistakably musy chord progressions. It's pretty heavy on the theatrics, and I love it as an album opener. Next is Dark Side, which you could say sounds like classic Muse but through an electronic prism. It retains the heavy 80s feel of the previous track. The driving beat, the interplay between Matt Bellamy's vocals and the guitar in the chorus creates a riveting tension that builds throughout the track. It's a really good song, and on the album it serves as kind of a revving up of sorts. Track 3, Pressure, is the record's first rocker. It roughens the texture of the album so far, and it infuses a lot of energy at precisely the right moment, with a great guitar riff and plenty of theatrics in the chorus. This is the kind of song Muse usually excels at and could probably write in their sleep. It might be playing it a bit safe, but it's a really fun track. Now, if Pressure was playing it on the safe side, Propaganda is completely unexpected. It's such a sharp contrast to the previous tracks, and whether or not you find the jarring opening interesting or not will probably inform how the song might grow on you. It has a really funky Prince-like feel, and thematically it's kind of brilliant, with the pulsating beats hammering into your head like Propaganda, and like Propaganda most likely managing to win you over. Break It To Me continues the progression into darkness with a twisted riff that could have been a gritty version of Britney Spears' Slave For You backing track. Yes, where others have mentioned Rage Against the Machine, that's my reference point. The riff descends into dissonance, and when the vocals break apart at the bridge, it's impossible not to pay attention. Another of the album's more experimental productions, but it grew on me and keeps the album developing. The last track on side A, Something Human, brings a sweeter sound, more human if you will. I like the juxtaposition of acoustic guitars with the digital drones and textures. It starts off intimate and ends almost like a prayer, with a very hymn-like chord progression and even an organ if I'm not mistaken. Thematically, it's a fitting end to side A. Opening side B is Thought Contagion, and this is why I love that I got this on vinyl. Because the act break between Something Human and this makes the impact of the opening bass line and subsequent guitar riffs so much greater. This is an opener, not a middle of the record track. The next track, Get Up and Fight, actually reminds me more of an early 2000s indie rock track than something from the 80s, or even something from Muse. It has Tove Lo supplying a backing track, and more backing track than backing vocal actually, and it's pretty good. It doesn't set the world alight, but it has a slightly more positive vibe which sits well after the previous track. Track 3, Blockades, has pretty much everything I want from a Muse track. A Knights of Sidonia-like beat, or Maps of the Problematique if you prefer. A huge chorus that doesn't shy away from the theatrical. A great guitar solo. Hearing this is understandable they put something in between this and Thought Contagion because they're quite similar in tone, even though this has more of an urgency to it. Dig Down slows the tempo again with a track that recalls the Muse of the Second Law. But from the somewhat minimal beginning with a Madness-style bass, it builds with hand-clapping and gospel influences to a rousing finale, a rallying cry of sorts, a call to hope when things are hopeless. It's a decent track and it's easy to nod your head and hum along to. The Grid. No, actually, The Void closes out the album, with Bellamy's voice over a lone synth before the bass enters ominously. If the first track was Stranger Things inspired, this feels like it could be called Muse Legacy with its Tron-infused production. It works though, even though the track is very clearly a closer and suffers a bit on its own. But listening to it in the context of the album, it's just perfect and ends with Bellamy's vocals yet again accompanied by a solo piano until a haunting synth drone takes over and leaves us in a kind of limbo. Overall, I think this is a great return to form from what I felt was a weak album with a somewhat tired and unattractive theme and drones. For me, it's comparable to The Second Law, but whereas The Second Law in my mind had higher highs and maybe lower lows, This one is more consistently good, while it doesn't quite reach the level of the best from that album. In any case, I highly recommend it if you like Muse and not just the early stuff, or good music in general. Try not to overthink it though. If the concept doesn't gel for you, it doesn't matter. It's just refreshing to hear Muse having fun, and that for me makes this really enjoyable. Okay, so that's it, guys, for the unboxing and review of the vinyl edition of Muse's Simulation Theory. If there's one negative note that's not music related, it would be that the actual record itself was quite warped, which you would have seen in the shots of the record playing. And I'm not sure why that is. I think it's a 140 gram record, it's not 180, but it still seemed a little much for a new record. Anyway, that's it for me. If you liked the video, smash that like button, leave your feedback below, and follow for more content like this. Hope to see you next time.